regardless of where you're watching, we have like literally 5 cameras on us right now. We are doing peppers and questions. So nice, right? Bell peppers. Not at all a habanero. Not at all the finale, the dried ghost pepper.
You touched that.
This is unfortunate. Yeah, this is terrible. So, we have 3 questions that we're going to be asked about our individual fields, and then we're going to respond to them. But the catch is, we have to eat half of the pepper before we finish answering the question. So, that means if there's seeds in it,
I just trying to get out of it.
that was bad.
No, he was trying to get out of it.
If there's seeds in the half, you have to eat the seeds. So,
I'm already sweating.
we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves from right to left. You can hop on either of the other live videos. But yeah, we'll start.
Well, hey guys, Matt your mortgage guy here. We're doing the hot pepper eating challenge and going over questions, and I'm looking forward to dropping some mortgage knowledge while at the same time
Crying.
burning my tongue. Bayz Design.
So, Kodiak, Bayz Designs. Basically, I am production and marketing. So, the questions that I'm going to be answering will be solely related to kind of public perception of ironically, mortgage brokers and real estate agents. So, yeah. And then?
I'm Nathan Weinland, Remax Alliance. I'm looking forward to not only passing along some real estate knowledge, but throwing up live on Facebook. I'm hoping that will help
Very
the ratings.
possible.
Looking at these peppers, I'm not looking forward to this.
Okay, so let's start with Matt, because you're...
Oh, let's start.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
Okay, the first question is, what was your biggest challenge and your biggest accomplishment for 2020?
All right, so take a munch. Give me one quick second.
He did get a decent amount of seeds.
My biggest, just such a big bite. Huge peppers. So we'll start with challenges. 2020 was a crazy year with COVID and all the lending changes and rules constantly and all that. So I'm really lucky to have a good team behind me that we were able to work through the constant changes of, well, new overlays, self-employed borrowers, investment stuff. It was a total different world, and I'm really glad that we were able to get through that, because it was a fun problem to get over. Now, the accomplishments was, I've talked about it before, but I bought a house last year. So, got into my first home, that's always exciting, and yeah, that was by far the biggest accomplishment. So, number 2, it's not bad.
Yeah, yours isn't. Jalapenos come in 2 flavors.
Yeah, mine wasn't.
Devil's breath and normal.
Yeah, good luck.
Mine looks devilly.
So about half. All right.
Big jump.
What's my question?
Oh,
don't
your
wanna
question is, what was the biggest challenge and the biggest accomplishment that you had for 2020?
It's a big pepper to eat.
It's very satisfying, but crunch.
This one is hot. So, biggest challenge by far, as far as production goes, it's incredibly difficult. I even have to take another bite. That wasn't quite half. Production is very difficult to do when you can't be next to somebody. So the hardest part by far
Oh my gosh.
Hiccups are a common side effect.
Yep, that's the first phase. It's hard to film someone if you can't be with them. So we tried web, we tried a bunch of other like avenues. Ultimately, ironically, this leads into the biggest success, is I was able to get a lav mic so that I didn't necessarily have to be close to somebody to record them. I could record them from a distance, and it would just sound like I was standing next to them. So that was the biggest success and the biggest drawback, which was honestly kind of easily overcame. So have fun. Oh no!
You haven't finished it yet.
Disclaimer! Peppers are hot, and we might curse. So if that offends you, just click off, because I really doubt we're going to be able to get through this without cursing.
Are we supposed to have a disclaimer
We're gonna
before the
try.
cursing?
Not after.
Curse counter
Like
1.
Okay,
right.
biggest accomplishment and biggest challenge,
Yeah.
was it?
Yeah,
All right.
of 2020.
I'm going to do the same thing, lightly eat. Ooh, that is a little spicy.
It's way better just get it out of the way.
Okay, so
It was too long.
I think that the biggest challenge was absolutely the fact that people are staying in their houses at a lot higher rate than they typically were. If they were planning on moving at the beginning of 2020, COVID quickly kind of put them in the category of let's just stay here and see how this pans out. So you ended up have less seats. So you end up with a lot less people selling, but of course buyers are still moving into this area in huge quantities, up from Denver, California, different places along that line. So I really should swallow and then answer the question because holding that is getting a little hot. So as these people keep moving in, and we saw these huge demands on housing, and the less sellers that are selling out became a real challenge, especially for us at the first half of the year when things really slowed down. The biggest accomplishment, I think, was we really excelled in the second half of the year once we kind of got onto our stride about how to really deal with COVID, how to really deal with virtual showings, being able to do things safely, and it took a good 6 months to really get that down to where we were confident enough to be able to help folks. And we cleaned up a lot of systems, so.
There we go.
Oh, that was a really big bite.
That's a huge volume, dude.
Also, to those that are watching live right now, if you ask a specific question for any of these guys, they have to eat an additional pepper, which will be chosen at random out of my pepper bag over here. So go ahead and start asking questions. We'll do that in between rounds as well.
And please ask Matt questions. He got the coldest pepper during the trial video. So ask him questions because he needs an extra pepper.
I got a Thai chili pepper.
Yeah, you got
Hey,
a tie.
dude, you got the good one.
I wasn't acting on the preview thing, I was crying.
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't have to keep eating that. You already did your
You only have to do half.
If you guys don't want to finish yours,
No,
wimps.
we're gonna start with Kodiak.
All right.
Okay.
Caribbean pepper.
Okay, what is the biggest thing that happened in your industry right now? What's the biggest thing going on?
As far as my industry goes, a couple major advancements kind of in the film industry right now is Avatar, so the blue people, not the airbenders. The second movie is coming out. There's a ton of technology actually coming out from that movie. In the first movie, he made the system for the 3D for the filming, and he's going and doing that exact same thing again, creating an entire system so that you could have 3D renderings underwater with motion capture, which is insane. But one of the other interesting parts about this industry, because ironically rates are ridiculously low and have been, it's been a lot harder to get in with these guys to film and create content for them. So that's also just kind of something that is happening within this industry. One of the other things is right now, social media is under a lot of scrutiny. It has been for a while, but it seems like they're really, really getting put through the fire right now just because of all the data that they're collecting. So it's also a very fine, difficult line to walk, more so this year than it really has been in the past. But yeah.
Are your Caribbean peppers not hot?
No, this is a bell pepper.
Oh, okay. Well,
Legitimately tastes like a bell pepper.
Nathan, you're up. So, what is the biggest thing happening in your industry right now?
I'm gonna laugh if the other ones are hot. Like if your guys' peppers are hot.
This
My first bite didn't have a lot of spice, but I can tell it's going to get spicier. It's spicier than the jalapeno.
As you continue
What?
punching on your jalapeno.
Yeah, this one is. I think that what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of people who are being able to work from home now. So the ability to then move into the outskirts and not have to be close to work in the downtown regions, being able to live in the city that you really want because your job's now mostly online. We're seeing a huge movement of where people end up living. And that really has some great advancements, and it's gonna get real interesting because if you're paying somebody $100,000 a year
Is it hot?
to live, yeah.
I'm sorry. I led you astray.
So if you're paying somebody $100,000 a year to live in Fort Collins, but their job is now online and taking them wherever they want to go, they end up in Ogallala, Nebraska, where a $30,000 wage is going to buy them about the same lifestyle as here. Do you still pay them $100,000? So that kind of, how that's going to influence what people make as they start moving into different areas is going to be real interesting. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things that we see right now. How is that all going to play out?
I've actually seen a decent amount on that with people moving out of like Silicon Valley and San Francisco. There are people making $150,000 now getting dropped down to $50K a year.
I've seen people take small cuts, like either taking a 10% pay cut to not work next to their, or to go remote. So it's a fun little thing.
10% seems worth it.
Okay. All right.
Was that seriously hot?
Matt, you're up. So what is the biggest thing happening in your industry right now?
You got it. Mine tastes like a bell pepper too.
Yours does have a decent amount of heat.
Take another bite. So one of the things happening in the industry, specifically lending right now, there's a lot of talk about rate fluctuating, but the even bigger thing in Northern Colorado especially, people are putting in a lot higher offers than we used to be putting in. On a $400,000 house, people are offering $450,000 to just have a chance to get it. So one of the common issues when you offer that high is that the house isn't going to appraise. And when we have to deal with what's called an appraisal gap, and it's really important for people to know how to deal with an appraisal gap when that happens, because you might only have enough to put down your 5, 10, 20% to qualify for that house. But then all of a sudden, you're buying this place, your appraisal comes in $30K short because you offered $50,000 higher over asking price. Now you're screwed. You have to be ready to bring in this difference in cash, and that's something that we've seen a lot of problems with. Appraisal gaps are a big thing right now.
How was your peppers?
Not hot at all.
Not hot at all. Okay. This is unfortunate actually because Nathan, now you're first.
My lips are still actually on fire. Can I wait another 11 minutes for the count? No, okay. It's little too, and those little peppers get you.
Last one. Habanero.
Okay.
I don't want to eat this.
Your question.
Yes.
Well, everybody's question. What do you foresee for the future of your industry within the next year or so?
Okay.
This is the good one.
So while he chews on that, basically it's like 5,000 Scovilles. This is 100 to 350,000 Scovilles.
Much.
It's like not even, it's honestly not even a comparison. We were like, easy,
You don't have to
hard.
eat the whole thing.
Oh, Nathan's going.
Okay, he set the precedent.
All right.
At the bar.
Let's hear the question.
I forgot it. Okay, so
What do you foresee for the future of your industry within the next year or so?
I got seed stuck in my throat. Okay, so I think that what we're gonna see, especially in the local market, eat some of this. I think we're gonna see that as interest rates start to push up, and Matt might speak to this as well. We're gonna start to see a little bit of the cooling of the market, where I don't really see a bubble forming in pricing, even though we're seeing these huge prices getting pushed over what they're being listed for, having trouble with appraisal.
At any point, we can vouch for a pansy box, which
I
will
do
have
it.
some relief aid.
I ain't doing it.
You can see the milk behind us.
For
Yep.
now.
So I think that as interest rates push up, buying power pushes down. So you have less buyers in a particular market for a house. It hurts to talk. Wow, that would be terrible in a pepper eating contest. So, look, I got genuine tears. So, as that starts to cool off later in the year, interest rates pushing maybe into the 4s, the high 3s, we'll start to see a little bit of balance. Prices regulate down, a lot less of that 12 offers on every property. And that will probably continue for the next few years here in this area where we have a very strong real estate market, still seeing good appreciation rates, but certainly not a bubble where we're contracting back in a quick manner. I don't think we're going to see interest rates spike and take way off, but they are going to climb. And in that climbing, I really think that we're going to see things start to really regulate. So buyers I'm working with right now that are getting real frustrated because there's 10 offers on every property and they're not getting approved, we'll have a little bit better of a chance later in the year. But to offset that, you're going to have that 6 months, half a year with appreciation. So it doesn't make sense to wait either. It makes sense to just keep trying and swinging and hope you get approved, but not wait for things to cool down.
Matt, you're next.
Alrighty.
You have to eat as much or more than he did.
As much or more. So if
Yep.
I eat more of it, you have to eat like up to the stem too?
I'm already planning on just popping the stem off.
Oh, and just pop it. Okay.
I'm going to eat this other
All right.
hot pepper to cool
Wow.
off.
Okay. So, what do you foresee for the future of your industry, Matt, within the next year or so?
Just gonna swallow that, get that out of the way real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
So, along the lines of what Nathan said, interest rates are going to be the really big factor that we're going to be looking at over the next year, and you can't you can't actually predict it. So, like, let me grab my magical crystal ball pepper and see what's going to happen with interest rates. But
How you doing?
so you can't actually predict what's going to happen. But from what our best guess is, from talking to all the experts and reading everything, rates really follow COVID since it's happened. And we expect, as COVID cases go down over the next few months, for interest rates to continue to climb. We expect interest rates to climb up, and I'm personally expecting them to come up to the high 3s, low 4s over the next 6 months or so. And then as everything starts to level back out again, things are going to come back down, and we're expecting a drop. So by 8 months from now, next year, we're thinking the rates are going to be in the mid to high 3s. Now again, that's my best possible guess. And how that's going to affect property, just like Nathan said, every 1/8% in interest rate changes your monthly payment by about $25 a month. So as interest rates climb, people are going to be able to qualify for a little less than what they do right now. So that's going to be a different game that we're going to be dealing with. So, Kodiak, have fun.
Good, you made it right through that. That hurt.
Hey, Kodiak,
Uh-huh.
same question. What do you foresee for the future of your industry within the next year or so?
My industry is definitely you're gonna see a lot of people getting into it. This is because the need's gonna be there. Because digital media is, honestly, it's kind of where everything's going. With social media, that's gonna be kind of leading the market. So people are gonna need content to be able to put up on those different platforms to be able to actually market themselves successfully. So you're gonna see a huge spike, and then it's probably gonna die back down as people get different jobs. But yeah. Oh my gosh, that's painful.
Get your stomach.
So,
It's all in the back of my throat.
it's time for the ghost pepper.
No, it's not. It's
Yeah.
never time for a ghost pepper.
I'll let Nathan pick first.
He earned it.
He earned it.
So,
I'm gonna preemptively grab my my pansy box for the ghost pepper.
Yeah, let's hand out the pansy boxes.
okay.
Almost died on a habanero. What's a habanero top out at? 100,000?
350,000?
350. This is 2 million.
Ghost pepper goes 850,000 plus.
Dude, this is just ramping up. A gallon of
My
milk.
pepper jack cheese.
I got a potato.
You gave me the Pop-Tarts?
You want a potato?
I don't want a Pop-Tart.
I think you should ask the question as we bite.
Okay.
Did you? Oh.
Good after, Matt. Is it hot?
It hasn't hit yet.
Are you scared?
It's not
Oh,
hot.
That's because it's called a ghost pepper.
Why is it not hot?
It will be.
My stomach's gonna hate me, but I feel like it's gonna be good for the mouth.
All right, there was half. Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it catches up, doesn't it?
Up through the nose. Get it in the nose. It's raining.
What is the biggest question that you receive from people on a daily basis?
How's the market doing today?
Yeah.
Probably get that 2 to 3 days a week. So how's the market? And there's never a good way to I'm gonna take another bite because it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, take another bite.
Yeah.
Definitely take another bite.
No good way to answer
down.
that question. Shy of, well, here's what interest rates are at, or people usually ask lenders specifically, what are interest rates at today? And it's really hard to give a standard answer, but the easy thing to say is, well, if you have good credit, if you have this, we can give you a rough idea. But the biggest thing you can follow is 10-year treasury bond, and then you can really see if rates are climbing or going down, and that'll help track a little bit. So, yeah, Kodiak.
The question I get asked is, how do I appear more comfortable on camera? That's kind of the most common question when you're like, hey, we're gonna film. The answer is, honestly, half of it you have to practice. The other half of it, you just look at the camera like you're looking at a wall. You just talk to a wall or like to a mirror. That's kind of like the easiest. That's like the easiest way to get people through that.
Mine is, why is Matt's phone blowing up? That's the most common question I get. Okay. So the most common question, of course, any real estate agent gets is, how's the market? And of course, the answer is, what market? You know, there's a lot of different real estate-centric markets. You've got rental markets, you've got commercial markets, you've got investments, you've
Hold on,
got
Nathan.
just the housing market.
He pansy boxed first.
Oh,
I told you I'd drink it.
We
I was
can-
fine with it.
We could drink. I can drink milk now.
wimps.
Oh, that's so much better.
I just wanted to look cool. Did that look cool? It didn't, did it? I barely took a bite. I could have took a seed. Oh, man. Anyway, so that's probably the most common question that I get is, how's the market? Is it a good time to sell? Obviously the answer is yes, it's a fantastic time to sell. It's a fantastic time to buy. I think things as interest rates grow and so forth, that answer is just going to be the best time ever is right now, because things are just going to kind of continually get worse.
Thank you very much for tuning in. This was Hot Peppers and Questions. If you enjoyed it, let us know. We'll probably do something stupid again, so.
I'm thinking battery acid and questions.
Gotta lick it. We ate a jalapeno, a Caribe pepper, which was pathetically not hot.
Mine was.
The
I'm the only one
habanero
that had the hot one.
pepper.
And if you guys can think of any other stupid things you want to see us do while we're answering real estate questions or marketing questions, let us know, and we're always happy to do it.
We're just stupid enough to pull that off.
Yep.
I like it.
All right, guys. Till next time.